Hi, it's Selva the Explorer. Today we are going to look at the top 10 shocking and disturbing cases of missing or murdered people. From missing planes to the Black Dahlia Murder to the infamous Elisa Lam. Here are some of the top unsolved mysterious cases that will shock you. These cases still remain unsolved. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think of any of these stories that you've heard today. Remember, they're all true. Here are some of the top unsolved deaths that will shock you, starting off with the Caddy Cabin Murders. Number 10. The Caddy Cabin Murders. In 1981, a mother, two of her children, and a teen friend were strangled in a Sharp family home. The Caddy Cabin Murders occurred in a remote woodsy town in Northern California. The Plumas County Sheriff's Office doesn't know who committed the crimes or why, and the two main suspects in the case have since passed. In 2013, the new county sheriff took a fresh look at the case. Cabin 28, where the killings took place, has since been torn down, but an old letter, a mysterious 911 call, and a found hammer keep the hope for justice alive in this highly publicized, unsolved quadruple homicide. Number 9. Elisa Lam's death at the Cecil Hotel. The death of Elisa Lam continues to mystify the public with its strange circumstances and unanswered questions. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student, was traveling the West Coast alone and staying at the infamous Cecil Hotel when she went missing in 2013. An initial search of the hotel turned up nothing, but an eerie elevator footage turned up of Elisa Lam behaving erratically and seemingly speaking to someone off-screen. About 3 weeks after Lam's disappearance, hotel guests began complaining of discolored, foul-tasting water, as well as low water pressure. Soon after Lam's body was found in one of the rooftop water tanks, her death was eventually ruled an accidental drowning, but some are still skeptical of her death. While plenty of websites and forums are filled with Elisa Lam theories, no single explanation ties up all the loose ends of what truly happened to Elisa Lam. While so many widespread theories circulated around the internet, this case still remains unsolved. Number 8. The Gilgo Beach Serial Killer.
State Police, Trooper Fry. State Police.
Yeah, there's somebody after me.
I'm sorry?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Okay, where are you?
Please stop.
The Long Island Killer, also referred as a Gilgo Beach Killer, is an unidentified suspected serial killer who is believed to have murdered between 10 and 17 people over a period of nearly 20 years, and to have disposed of their bodies in areas on the South Shore of Long Island, New York. Most of the known victims were escorts who advertised on Craigslist. After the mysterious disappearance of Shanann Gilbert, which resulted in a police search of the area along the Ocean Parkway, which was near the beach towns of Gilgo and Oak Beach, the remains of 4 victims designated the Gilgo 4 were found within a quarter of a mile of each other near Gilgo Beach in December 2010. In 2011, 6 more sets of remains were found. Gilbert's remains were found a year after the remains of the Gilgo 4 were discovered. Her cause of death remains contested, with police claiming accidental drowning, while an independent autopsy determined possible strangulation. People still speculate what truly happened to Shanann Gilbert on that fateful night when she visited a client of hers located in Gilgo Beach. Number 7. Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia Murder. On the morning of January 15, 1947, a mother's morning walk with her young daughter turned into a nightmare when she discovered the mutilated body of a young woman in a vacant lot. The body of 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short was discovered brutally murdered on January 15, 1947, in a vacant lot near Leimert Park in Los Angeles. Her body cut in half, drained of blood, and cleaned of all evidence. On the day of her murder, the Biltmore Hotel staff spotted Miss Short using the hotel lobby telephone. Shortly after her phone call, Short was then seen alive for one last time at the Crown Grill Cocktail Lounge located a few blocks away from the Biltmore Hotel. The sole witness was not able to help, claiming only to have seen a black sedan parked in the area. Despite many theories, allegations, and leads over the years, the killer was never found. Today, the Black Dahlia Murder remains one of the oldest cold case files in Los Angeles, as well as the city's most famous. Number 6. The Jameson Family. The unsolved murder of the Jameson family has created many theories regarding who killed Bobby and Sherilyn Jameson and their 6-year-old daughter Madeleine, and why. The family disappeared on October 8, 2009, approximately 30 miles from their home in Eufaula. The Jameson family were checking out properties near Red Oak, Oklahoma. They wanted to purchase land. Witnesses saw the Jamesons in the area, but the family never returned from the woods. Over a week later, authorities found the Jameson truck along with their nearly starved dog. Investigators also recovered the Jamesons' IDs, phones, and $32,000 in cash. Back at their home, investigators uncovered a witch's Bible, as well as suspicious inscriptions scrawled on the inside of the family storage containers. With no leads, the case went cold. However, on November 15, 2013, hunters stumbled upon the skeletons of 2 adults and a child, a few miles south of where Oklahoma investigators had found the Jameson pickup. In July 2014, medical examiners confirmed the remains belonged to the missing Jameson family. Number 5. The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Madeleine McCann was a British child who was abducted from her bed in a Portuguese resort town. She was only 3 years old. Madeleine's case has been labeled one of the biggest missing child cases in history. On the night of Madeleine's disappearance, her parents and their friends dined in a nearby restaurant, 180 feet away from where the children were sleeping. An hour and a half after the families had left for dinner, Madeleine's mother, Kate, checked on the children and discovered that Madeleine was missing. To this day, Madeleine has never been found. Number 4. The West Mesa Bone Collector. Between 2002 and 2005, a serial killer who became known as the West Mesa Bone Collector murdered and buried 11 women in the outskirts of Albuquerque, New Mexico. All of the West Mesa Bone Collector's victims fall between the ages of 15 and 32, fit a specific profile, and worked as prostitutes. Despite the fact that they have a list of potential suspects, which 2 of them are already dead, this case still remains unsolved. The true identity of the West Mesa Bone Collector remains a mystery. Until then, this is everything we know about the West Mesa Bone Collector. Number 3. The Unsolved Murder of Nicole Simpson. The slaying of 35-year-old Nicole Brown Simpson and her 25-year-old friend Ron Goldman captivated many people in 1994. In the early morning hours of June 13th, their bodies were found outside their home, both stabbed to death. Simpson's ex-husband, former football player O.J. Simpson, was the first suspect. Many still remember where they were when watching TV reports of the police chasing O.J. in the white Bronco, or what they were doing when the bloody glove was presented as evidence in the courtroom. Despite what many thought and the fact O.J.'s DNA was found at the crime scene, Simpson's ex-husband was acquitted of the slaying of Simpson and Goldman. So if he didn't kill the couple, who did? Other suspects have been identified in a double homicide. Though they were deemed unlikely candidates, Convicted serial killer Glenn Roger admitted to slaying the pair. However, he was serving a 6-week jail sentence at the time of the crime, so he was not a legitimate suspect. Number 2. The mysterious death of JonBenet Ramsey.
JonBenet's original bedroom has been reconstructed in painstaking detail.
She had come back from a Christmas party and had fallen asleep in the car and was brought straight up to bed. And there are many theories about what happened next.
And here's a replica of the staircase where the ransom note was found.
JonBenet Ramsey was a child pageant queen who was killed at the age of 6 in her parents' home in Boulder, Colorado. A long handwritten ransom note was found in the home. Her father, John Ramsey, found her body in the basement of their home about 7 hours after she had been reported missing. She had sustained a broken skull from a blow to the head and had been strangled. A garrote was found tied around her neck. The autopsy report stated that JonBenet's official cause of death was asphyxiation by strangulation. Her death was ruled a homicide. The case generated worldwide public and media interest, in part because her mother Patsy Ramsey, a former beauty queen, had entered JonBenet into a series of child beauty pageants. The crime is still considered a cold case and remains an open investigation with the Boulder Police Department. Number 1. Missing airplane, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
03 to right of takeoff. 9. Press on the right of Malaysia 67.
Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was an international passenger flight operated by Malaysia Airlines that disappeared on March 8, 2014, while flying from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia to its planned destination, Beijing Capital International Airport. The crew lost communication with air traffic control around 38 minutes after takeoff, when the flight was over the South China Sea. The aircraft was lost from air traffic control radar screens minutes later, but was tracked by military radar for another hour, deviating westward from its planned flight path, crossing the Malay Peninsula and Andaman Sea. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 left the radar range 200 miles in northwestern peninsular Malaysia with all 227 passengers and 12 crew aboard presumed dead. The disappearance of Flight 370 was the deadliest incident involving a Boeing 777 and the deadliest in Malaysia Airlines history. The search of the missing airplane became the most expensive search in the history of aviation. What do you think really happened to the missing plane? Let us know, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more content.